The date is Friday, March 4th, and you're listening to Entertain This, a thought-provoking podcast encapsulating all things entertainment. On this episode, we're talking about everyone's favorite guilty pleasure, reality TV. We know it's bad, and yet we can't seem to stop watching the antics and personality clashes that make these shows so dramatic. Join us as we reminisce on some of the classics and talk about what's hot right now. Enjoy!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the only show on the internet encapsulating all things entertainment. Back at it again with the deep voice. It's Entertain This.
Entertain This.
His throat's all recovered, so in case you were joined in on our live when I said the naughty word, that's what I said it for. I was celebrating that his deep voice was back.
Yeah, it's nice to not be all like light and raspy anymore. I like it. I like my voice.
How's the arm? You still got it tied up?
Yeah, I'm supposed to, but I don't know. The desk work.
I don't know if we ever talked about what happened, but you were doing big gains.
Yeah. I went to the gym to get my mass on. I was cultivating mass.
He was going to Sunday mass, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep. I was praise be to Broden, Church of the Bros. And I was benching a little bit too big for my britches. On the last rep of the last set, I felt all of the different little muscle groups in my right pectoralis major here just go boink, 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 and it just completely popped, tore from the shoulder.
A Looney Tunes piano he tore.
Yep. And now I'm broken and fixed. So surgery was good. I'm just now in the recovery period where now I can't do anything meaningful with my right arm for 12 to 18 weeks, which is wonderful.
For those of you listening back on the podcast, that will have meant nothing to you. Everything probably got delivered at the exact same time it usually would have. Maybe the order's a bit out, but we've been doing a lot of like back end stuff so that it all works out long haul and so that he got his ample rest time.
Yeah, I was also on a lot of really strong pain meds post-surgery.
On some episodes, you were still on those meds. You were just goggly and on your way through.
Doing his best.
Yep, I'm off of them now, though. I'm good. I'm clean.
You heard it here first, folks. Michael's off his meds.
Yep.
Michael's clean now.
So that's going to make for a more entertaining podcast, if I say so.
That wasn't my planned cold open, but it was a good talking point.
Yeah.
Now on to the planned cold open because I want to talk to you guys about it. I've started taking the cold open kind of like what a cold open is in like a daily show or like a nightly show where like they talk about the like recent news and stuff. And there's a bunch of news to talk about. Yeah. And there's stuff that like we just shouldn't talk about because it's not the correct platform to speak on it. All I can say is, in regards to what I am referring to, pray for the people of Ukraine, and we hope that all ends well over there and is peacefully dealt with. But in American news, keeping my nose in our own business, Donald Trump's back again in the news.
Okay.
Oh,
you guys remember long ago when he was doing all the tweeting and he was like famous as the president who tweets, and then Twitter was like, how about you be famous for the president who got kicked the fuck off Twitter?
This is post-presidency, but
yeah.
Yeah. So he decided he's going to start his own Twitter. Are you guys familiar with this story?
Yes, I have heard this.
His new Twitter is called Truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it only right.
Oh dear.
That I would explore it and give it a chance.
So you're on Truth?
I am. So I personally made a Truth account. And I did get at Alexander Steele, so that felt cool. Okay. But when I realized that I could get that, I started getting other things. So I also got at Alamo Draft House, which is a movie theater chain. So they'll have to pay out if they want that. And I also got at Game Grumps. So if the Game Grumps want to jump on Truth, they're going to have to go through me because I got their username.
Oh, my God.
Can you beat Fox News?
Can you check that? I'm sure someone took at Fox News. But a number of other, we'll call them freedom fighters, have also joined Truth.
Oh, they're fighting freedom for sure.
Taking usernames such as Walmart.
Nice.
And not the official Walmart, but somebody claimed the username Walmart and is tweeting shit like Walmart loves the gays, like Walmart LGBTQ, like all stuff that Walmart would approve of. But on this platform, they're getting absolutely roasted. A bunch of Republicans
Jeez.
who are stupid are like, "Whoa, we hate Walmart. We're never shopping at Walmart again." So that's hilarious.
That's
All
where
in
I
all,
see it.
here's the
Still
last thing I'll
shopping
say
at
about Truth, and then we'll be done with it. I signed up for 3 accounts, one for Alamo Drafthouse, which I own, one for Game Grumps, which I also own, and then one that was just my personal account. They all were created, but I didn't actually get any of them because currently it's a wait list to get into a social media site.
What?
Now, yeah, you're a programmer, so how does
Yeah.
that... Apparently, they put you on a wait list now if you try to sign up because they can't handle the number of people who want to join.
Can I say it? They can't handle the truth.
Oof.
Well, you said it.
Is that a joke? I don't know.
And you're
Not very
right.
good at this.
Yeah,
Which-
I mean, like, I get it. Like, that'd be tough, but there's fucking ways to do it.
Yeah.
Old Donnie
Like,
just doesn't want
it's-
to pay up, you know?
Yeah,
With bandwidth.
like, what it probably is he probably doesn't want to have to use like Amazon or like any other partnerships that would require him to be like we're gonna put all this, because this is what happened to that older social
Parler.
media. Yeah, this is what happened to Parler. Is Parler was using Amazon, like AWS, and AWS is like, cool, you're using our products for a usage that we don't approve of. Cool, you're shut down.
Yeah.
And then it shut off their entire website. So that's probably what Truth is like avoiding.
So Truth is on personal servers being paid for by Donald Trump, and he has run out of room on those servers.
Yep.
So you couldn't sign up for a Truth account right now if you wanted to. You can like reserve your username. You cannot get in the site. And that is chef's kiss. I will say I also tried for a couple of other usernames that I didn't get. I tried to get at Ted Cruz. I thought that would have been fucking hilarious.
That
That's
would be
funny.
great.
Would have been really good. I tried to get at Subway. I wanted to eat fresh and represent. That one was taken. Tried to get at Target Classic. I
Wow.
felt like I
Yeah.
could represent them pretty well.
Sure.
on Truth. But I guess that didn't work out.
Oh my god. Could you imagine like being on like the Target like you being the Target account with the name like The Red Menace on a fucking right-wing social media?
At Target, and then my name would have been The Red Menace. And it
Yeah.
would have been oh,
So
good.
chef's kiss. Incredible. The point is, if you don't have a Truth account, don't let the fact that Donald Trump is the one who's sponsoring it stop you from signing up and torturing people who actually want to use it, because they're not going to use it for good reason. And for that reason, you will be a revolutionary revolutionist. Is that correct?
Sure. Revolutionary.
Yeah.
Thank you. You'll be what Nick said if you sign up for Truth and use it for evil. So please do that. Now on to the show.
Can
Hi.
you find entertain this on Truth? Be honest.
No,
Tell
I
the
didn't
truth.
I did not sign up entertain this on Truth. Which
Yeah,
now that I said
one-
that, I probably should, because somebody else will.
I'm gonna
I
post
love it.
there. Who knows?
At this
All right.
point, I'm taking usernames to protect them from actually becoming Truth profiles.
There you go.
That's a good way to do
It
it.
won't be around for very long.
No, it's no,
Can't
no,
imagine.
Probably not.
it's done.
Anyways, Michael, you have something to talk about, or
Boy, howdy do I.
Boy, howdy, yeehaw, and so on.
Yeah, y'all ready for this? Yeah. Hi, we're going to be talking about a genre of TV shows. I've not talked about anything other than video games for a while. So branching out into the realm of TV shows.
Okay.
It's kind of came off the back of Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, this was the day after I had my surgery,
Yeah.
and I was all sorts of doped up on meds.
Mm.
And so I ended up sitting at home for Valentine's Day with my fiance Jade, watching reality dating shows. So if we couldn't celebrate our love, we could celebrate some other people's random fake love.
It is a little depressing that you instead of finding a way to celebrate your love was like reality shows.
I wish I could have, but I was glued to our recliner and I physically couldn't move.
Awesome.
Like, it was one of those things, like Jade had to like point my head in the direction of the TV.
Ain't that America?
I'm glad you're doing better now.
Oh my God, so am I. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about reality TV shows, not just the dating variety, but dating show or reality shows as a whole. Because the more and more that I dove into the subject, the more I found stuff that just intrigued me and brought back nostalgia, like from the bygone days of watching VH1, because nothing else would be on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, or ESPN. So I'd find like the most random reality TV shows on there, which were all incredible.
You'll probably get into it, and if you don't, then feel free to, question me about it later. But reality TV show isn't dead. It's only migrated onto like streaming platforms and stuff. Nowadays, there are plenty of things on streaming platforms that will fill that weird feeling within you to see other people make fools of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like even still, like reality TV is still technically like one of the most popular forms of TV. Like outside of just like what we can access on social media now, like because
we are reality TV.
Yeah, like social media as it is a form of like reality entertainment.
I don't like Kanye West. I don't know much about Kim Kardashian, but I know everything about Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
As much as you don't want to, it gets there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So let's just start off with like, because I think a lot of people who would listen to this will probably already know like what reality TV is, but just in case someone doesn't, like you just might be wondering, like I get reality, I get the television part. How do those two mix together? Well, the whole genre of reality TV is this idea of recording people in these quote unquote unscripted moments and turning that out for some form of entertainment. A lot of shows like this would be things like Big Brother, Judge Judy, or Survivor. Shows like that. A lot of stuff that you can even find on like your PBS channels or your channels under the 10s, where you get all that free cable access.
I like that all of the American reality TV shows could also be names of Japanese anime, like Big Brother, Judge Judy, Survivor.
Oh, you mean like the uwu voice?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Survivor uwu.
Because basically, if you were to replace the main host in any of those with some sort of an animated furry creature, and then made any contestant in any of those shows like Japanese high schoolers, then you've created a Japanese anime.
Yeah. Basically.
Like Survivor, except, the challenges are issued by a demon and the players are all Japanese school kids. That's probably already an anime.
Yeah, basically.
You're describing a Japanese game show. And I like those, but I've never actually sat down and watched
No,
them.
Japanese game shows are different because they have game shows where it's like, there's an entire room here and one thing is in here is chocolate. Find it and eat it. And then they go around chewing on stuff.
I want to play
That's
that
a Japanese game show.
Well, the thing is like all those are still technically fall under the genre of reality TV.
What?
Like one of my favorite shows growing up that like I think got me super used to like the subtitled Japanese, like the dubbed Japanese like situation, was a show called Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, or MXC. Do either of you two remember that show? I think it was on VH1 or MTV, but it was basically this Japanese game show that it was originally called, in Japan it's called Takeshi's Challenge or Takeshi's Castle. And a lot of this game is like where you have people competing on a like Ninja Warrior-esque course. And it's all like just regular ass people they pulled off the street. And it's just them failing over and over and over again. If you go and watch like the original show, like with it dubbed or with it like subbed out, like it's all right. It's mostly just people going like, "Hi, my name is this and I'm going to do my best." And then they're just like 2 steps in and just like falling face first in the pavement.
What a super cut of that. Hi, my name's Bradley and I'm very strong.
That's basically it. Except Most Extreme Elimination Challenge took all of the footage and then redubbed over all of it with comedy. So it'd be like, "Hi, my name's Ass Liquor 5000, and I like to eat turtles." And then
Classic
it's
comedy.
Yeah, I don't know. And
It
it's like,
reminds me of America's Funniest Home Videos.
Hi,
You guys
my
ever watch
name-
that?
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
It's just like people getting hurt, doing dumb
Hi.
shit.
Hi, my name's Bozo the Clown, and I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
There's my off day.
You see Bozo jump across a flaming wheel of fire and then just falls face first
Just
onto it. Yeah,
eats.
peak comedy.
This sucks.
It's slapstick, right? We all like that.
Yeah. It's slapstick comedy, but then they just add the element of like the bad dubbing on top of it, which is like the cherry on top. It's wonderful.
That's great.
But yeah, so in looking into like reality TV, I had always, it's one of those things where it's like you look at a show and you're like, yeah, I guess that's reality TV. I guess that's reality TV. But then like there's like actual subgenres that people have defined and like placed these shows into categories for. So you got like what is probably the most popular, which is like the soap opera style. This is going to be like the OC, The Hills, or Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Pretty much in like all of these shows, it's just like upper middle class to complete upper class, like white girls, just like with the Valley Girl accent, just like, "Hi, what's going on? What's up?"
Can I tell you something right off the bat?
Yeah.
I actively avoid reality television shows.
I would imagine like most people would.
That's past, present, and hopefully not future, but you have to convince me.
and so like the big thing with those is that like they're shot in like these super cinematic styles. It's meant to create like elevate every little bit of drama. It's like, Karen didn't come to little Timmy's birthday.
Are you
Oh
really
my
gonna bring a birthday
God.
party to me on my birthday? On my birthday party on my birthday? Happy birthday!
I don't know why. It's just like the dichotomy of picking like the people who have like the most like ridiculous issues, the most like mundane, like first world bullshit problems, and then doing like smash cut after smash cut after smash cut, and it's just like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, and with like the Hell's Kitchen sound effects.
Yes.
Just look those up. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Chef Ramsay doesn't like you.
Another really popular subgenre of these shows is one that like I personally really like, the structured reality subgenre. So these are going to be shows like ironically named The Real World, Big Brother, or even shows like Dirty Jobs. And to kind of bounce off of that, do you guys ever seen the show The Simple Life?
No.
I saw the Simple Life of the American Teenager. That wasn't reality. That was not fake. That was fake.
Do you watch Discovery Channel? I pick both of you as Discovery Channel kids.
Oh yeah, big time.
Fuck you. Yeah.
So you guys
Right.
so you all watched Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe, right?
I love that show.
I remember when he stuck his arm into like the backside of an elephant.
Yeah,
It was wild.
yeah.
Their job. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. So The Simple Life is essentially you take the concept of Dirty Jobs, but then have Paris Hilton be Mike Rowe.
Oh, it's like that Disney
no.
movie Cowbells, where
Yeah.
the two heiresses had to go work on a dairy farm.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. And I don't know why, but like when reading through this, all of the memories that I had locked in some chamber in my mind castle just unlocked whenever I saw the name The Simple Life.
Shame.
Yeah. To give clarity on things, I have two younger sisters who are infatuated with reality TV. So a lot of this stuff and a lot of this memory and this nostalgia that I have about this stuff is a lot of being force-fed and being like secondarily brought into things and be like, oh my God, did you hear about this, this, and this? Kim said this and Chloe said that. And oh my God. And yeah, that's pretty much my entire history with reality TV.
There was a reality TV show that I used to be addicted to that was under this genre of reality TV shows, to the point where it was like during the cable era where like you didn't get to pick what you watched. You know,
Mhm.
you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Way long ago, back in the
There's only
olden
one TV
days.
in the house. That's how I remember it.
Oh, well, you had that, but you also just had the limitations of there being channels with scheduling blocks and shit
Right.
like that.
Mhm.
But it was on Sci-Fi. It was a reality TV show on Sci-Fi. And
Oh.
if you don't know the oxymoron of that, Michael, you might know where I'm going with this, but it
Yeah.
was called Opposite Worlds.
No, I was
You don't
thinking of
know?
it. There was another show, another reality TV show on Sci-Fi called Scream Queens.
Oh,
That was
yes.
all about like finding the next like big horror actress.
So there was also one called Opposite Worlds, and in Opposite Worlds, it was a reality TV game show where every week contestants would compete as to whether or not they would get to live that next week in the future or in the past.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Right.
if you lost the challenge, then one of your teammates got voted out. If you won the challenge, then you got to live in the future. And basically what the future and the past was, it was one giant like building. Half of it was a cave, like a stone cave. And you got like basic tools where you had to like start your own fires. You had to cook your own meat. And the food you were given was like bullshit food. You got like vegetables and uncooked slabs of meat, and you had to figure it out, or you like had to starve and it was cold. And then there was a glass wall. And then on the other side of that glass wall, so they could see each other, was the most futuristic home you had ever seen, where like food was delivered to you by robots, and you had drones you got to play with in the yard,
Smart
and
house.
it was smart house,
It was
right?
the smart house. Yeah.
And it had like voice command and all this, and way back then that was like future and whatever. So I thought what was so hilarious was every week, if you were a like cave person living in the cave, basically your only entertainment was to sit in front of that glass fucking wall and watch what the future people were doing, and they were having such a good time.
That's all you need.
It's like
I'm ready for the
like,
caveman stuff because
Oh,
you
man.
know the paleo diet.
Oh
the
yeah,
paleo.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
yeah.
See,
All you need is
that's-
a
The
campfire.
hunter gatherer diet. Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like, honestly, Nick, I don't think you would make it in the past.
No.
I don't think. I think that once you saw them flying a drone in their like mock backyard, and you had to just sit there and watch
A
it.
single tear goes down my cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many of these like structured reality TV shows that I just love.
Is the Truman Show? Is that a structured reality show?
I would say that is it. That would be considered a structured reality show.
Okay, I'm in now.
In its universe, that is a structured reality show.
Yeah, that's
The
what I was
Truman
asking.
Show, the movie, is a movie starring Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. Come on.
I'm just clarifying.
You live on a rock? What are you doing?
But yeah, so like growing up, I had always heard about shows, especially like The Real World and Big Brother. Like the whole idea of those is that you just take like a bunch of random people and just like put them in a single house, tell them they can't leave, and they have to like at the end of every week vote someone out. And the whole thing that like I retroactively like fell in love with about them is just like the politics that go into it. I ended up falling deep into this rabbit hole like a few years ago from finding this guy on YouTube named Dan Giesling. Dan Giesling is a previous winner of Big Brother. And he posts like a lot of like gaming like videos on YouTube, or he like streams on Twitch and stuff. And he'll talk about like what it was like to play Big Brother. And he had everything down to like this exact strategy of like, I'm going to ally with this person, with this other person. I'm going to create a counter ally. And I'm not going to tell either one of them about like the fact that I'm allies with either one. And so that way I can cut things off with this person as soon as things turn sour, or I can like intentionally cut things off with this person, which will create this other drama. And it's like, this is like 5-head big brain bullshit. And I love it.
Jeez. It's like next level something. Not chess, not 40 chess. What's the word I'm looking for? Where you like make allies and
Politics?
manipulation. That's what
manipulation.
social manipulation.
Not 40
Yeah.
chess, manipulation. You know, the other game I like to play.
Yeah, everybody plays that.
Yeah, these shows are just like a deep dive into the whole side of like social engineering.
Oh yeah, that does.
And
It's
it's
a
just
big
like
brain word.
it's taking like concepts that you just like think about that exist in like psychiatry, and just putting them into like full effect. It's like watching that gag from The Office where Jim gives a Mento to Dwight every time he restarts his computer.
Operant conditioning. I love that.
Yeah, it's like seeing that like happen in a group of like 20 people.
Chaos.
So here's a question I have for you boys.
Yeah.
And please be honest. I want to hear honest answers here. Have you ever applied to be on a game show?
No.
No.
I couldn't even think about like doing that. Like
you didn't make your Survivor tape as a kid?
No, did you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Do you still have it?
Probably somewhere.
Oh, please. Please find it.
My name's Alex, and here's why I should be on a deserted island
with a bunch of 30 to 50-year-olds.
Yeah.
Is it worse that nobody stopped me? But even as so recent as I tried to get on a Netflix show. This was before Chloe and I started dating, so I was
Which one?
Do you want to guess?
I hope
Survivor.
to God it's Sexy Beasts.
No, God, no. And we need to talk about that. It was The Circle.
Oh, yeah.
What's that about?
Well, season 1 of The Circle was great. I really liked season 1 of The Circle, and I really liked the people in season 1 of The Circle. Let's talk about The Circle. What is The Circle? The Circle is it's a building somewhere, probably in Los Angeles, but I don't know. Sorry, I'm reading Chloe's secret comment that she sometimes leaves us in the middle of the show. And she says that she doesn't think that was before we were together. Okay, cool. Probably not then.
So it was after.
I guess so.
She at least knew you.
Well, that's great. And that means I at least told her, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, The Circle was an apartment building somewhere unknown, and it had a giant neon circle. And inside of this circle, there were contestants who got to live in apartments. But the catch was they weren't allowed to leave the apartments, and they weren't allowed to meet each other. The only time when they were ever allowed to meet each other was when they had like these interactions between mirrors. And that only happened as rewards to challenges. So they could like pick an ally who they've been talking to through this social media app called The Circle, which was on all of their TVs. And if they were allying with a person, they were like, I want to have dinner with this person. They'd have a nice sushi dinner. They'd get to talk to the person, but they wouldn't get to see them. And the idea was, in the world of the internet, you never know who you're talking to on the other side of the screen. So the goal was to not get voted out because you were supposed to vote out anyone who you thought was being inauthentic. So anyone who was catfishing the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
So you would build these profiles and people could like flip through your profile and they could talk to you and interact and whatever. And if they didn't think you were real, they had to get rid of you. And then at the very last episode, they bring all of the remaining contestants in to have dinner with each other. And like some people are expecting to see this like beautiful girl named Sarah, and she's so sweet and so nice. And ends up being like Sarah's boyfriend was the actual contestant and used Sarah's pictures to build his profile. So he walks in, he's like, yo, 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 yo. And they're like, you're Sarah? The sweet little girl? He's like, yeah, it's me. And they're like hugging and they all think it's funny and so on and so forth.
That's adorable.
That's a good laugh.
So I didn't watch season 2, partially out of spite because they didn't ever get back with me.
That's fair. Yeah.
But season 1 was incredible, and it's just like you said, a game of strategy and trying to play the other players and not get played yourself.
Yeah, and to kind of go off of that, like there is like a whole separate genre of reality TV that kind of meshes a lot of the times with structured reality, because like the whole key of structured reality is like you got to give them a reason to be there. So there's got to be like some sort of reward. Well, the other subgenre is like reality competition shows. So these are going to be things like American Idol, The Voice. They're going to be
Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal. Not really.
Sure.
I mean, game shows like that aren't really like explicitly reality TV
because they don't have like the testimonial section where they're like, I really don't like Alex.
Right. Yeah.
Or whatever the character's name is. I don't know. It doesn't have to be Alex.
But that whole side is what encapsulates the thing that sent me down this full rabbit hole of reality TV, which was the whole dating show side.
I just had a terrible idea.
What?
It's actually a really awesome idea.
Is it one you can share on the cast?
Is it ethical?
What if at some point we did an Entertain This reality TV show where we got a bunch of people. We got a bunch of people and they all had to like each week we brought them on and we gave them an allotted amount of time on the podcast to present their thing they're bringing to the table to convince us to watch. And every week we vote somebody out, and then we could do weeks where it's like the three of you need to team up and make like a thing to impress us or whatever, and then a team gets voted out, and then it comes all the way down to the end and we give them a prize.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would be down for that.
No, call
Like,
it. Who wants to be the next to entertain this?
Entertainees and entertainers.
Yeah, that's how we eventually just replace ourselves, so we get to be the higher ups.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. It'll run itself eventually.
Because we know people aren't here for us at this point. It's obviously for the topics and the talking
people
points.
are only here for us, guys. Because our topics are really hit or miss each week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's depressing. Anyways,
welcome to reality TV, baby.
Welcome to this reality.
When you boil it down to the old griddles and grinds, all that's left is depression and desperation.
Oh, lots of desperation.
That's what fuels these shows is
Oh,
desperation.
100%. And that's nowhere more clear than the VH1 series of reality television shows.
Is that where Rock of Love comes in?
Oh, yeah. Rock of Love, Flavor of Love, I Love New York, Tila Tequila, Shot of Love,
Tia and Tamara, Double Trouble.
Yeah, of Love.
No, I made that one up.
But yeah, and this is where like I really got my first little bite of reality TV show that like I sought after myself. I remember because this was always during like the really awkward period of time before like Toonami was on Cartoon Network right after I got home from school, so I couldn't watch Dragon Ball
wild
Z.
Fucking jump you made in your entertainment.
Oh yeah, it's wild. And this is when like my parents like for the longest time completely banned the like 50s to 70s channels on my TV because that was where like MTV was, and like wasn't allowed to watch MTV growing up. It's where VH1 was.
That's when Cribs was on when we were kids, and Cribs was
dope.
dope.
That's true.
I loved Cribs.
That's reality TV.
Yeah, there was Cribs. There was also
there was Kid Cribs at one point.
Yeah, what was the show with Exhibit? The one where they like took cars and
Pimp My Ride.
Pimp My Ride.
Is that what you just said, Nick? I was trying to hear what Nick was saying or trying to like suss it out. And I was just staring at him, waiting for him to say it again. But yeah, Pimp My Ride for sure.
Yeah, and I just remember like they would take like the like a beat up like car that can be used, and they make it the most impractical bullshit in the name of just like
we're pimping a ride for Deborah. Deborah's got 3 kids and a minivan. Well, we're about to deck this thing out so that it fits 2 kids and a second minivan inside.
And a full jungle gym in the trunk.
Whoa!
And for some reason, we installed a PlayStation 1 in the engine.
So that way, when you're tailgating, you can open it up and use the heat from your engine to play. I don't remember.
use classically what powered the PlayStation: heat. What was good for your old gaming devices? More heat.
This highlights the impracticability.
Yeah. It's like I think like one of my favorite things was the yo dog, like those early timey like. Yo, dog, I heard you like goldfish, so I put an entire fucking tropical fish aquarium in the trunk of your car.
No.
Yo, dog, I heard you like mudkip, so I put mudkip in your mudkip so you can mudkip while you mudkip.
And gave you mudkip mud flaps.
I'd buy those if I had a big old truck. Mudkip, mud flaps. Genius.
Yeah. And so the ones that I like really wanted to dig into today were specifically these VH1 shows, the dating shows in particular, because wow, they were just
Is this The Bachelor too, or is that
no? So we're talking about like the really trashy dating shows, like not really like classy.
This was The Bachelor.
This was The Bachelor. If The Bachelor is fine wine or champagne, this was the equivalent of Mountain Dew. to The
Oh,
Bachelor.
100%.
This is the Mountain Dew of dating reality TV shows.
Yeah. This is the Mountain Dew that you find in the back of the pantry that you think has been there since your birthday party 3 years ago.
And you're like, oh, there's nothing else. I'm just gonna get a cup of ice and drink this.
Yeah,
And then you're
yeah,
watching Rock of Love.
Yeah, and then so you pour it in, and it's like slightly like it's brown tinged instead of yellow, but I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, that's
Still
the
has the old
VH1.
logo
That's
on it.
Flavor of Love.
It says the full
Now
Mountain Dew.
that right there, that's Flavor of Love.
Do I want to know what the flavor of love is?
No, I'm sure it's just like the flavor of Baja Blast mixed with hand soap.
Oh,
You know all that
Tracy
liquid
hand
hand sanitizer we have laying around now because we didn't use it because everyone decided they didn't want to smell like rusty old corn.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
Baja Blast and that.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is the flavor of love.
not that kind of hand sanitizer. I hate that. It's so runny. It's not like the right. Anyways.
Yeah. That's how it mixes in real well. But yeah, so first off, like Flavor of Love. What's the big deal with that? Okay.
Flavor Flav.
Flavor
right?
Flav. Yeah.
He in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know who Flavor Flav is?
Oh, of course. He
Who
wears
is he?
the clock
Big
around his
old-
neck.
Big old watch.
Yeah, he's the guy who always had like the really big watch, the really big clock, who would always keep his timepiece wrapped around his neck.
He was dripping.
Yeah, full of drip.
He dripped before drip was drip.
True.
So Flavor of Love, like what was he popular from before that? So he was actually one of the frontmen, or he was called like he was like one of the first like leading people in like a rap group or a hip hop group. No, I'm sounding like a upper middle, like a middle class like dad when I the hip hop, the rap guys.
Michael, are you white? I couldn't tell. I'm.
But he was part of a group called Public Enemy. And Public Enemy was actually like a really popular group back in the day. And he was like one of the first leading people who had the specific job of being a hype man. And so his whole job wasn't to actually like perform or sing or anything. It's just whenever there was like dead air in like a show or on like a record or something, you just hear him in the background doing his like tagline, "Yeah, boy," like that. Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, he's that
Wow.
guy. And he really like popularized like that whole idea of having someone like that in a group. But what makes it even more interesting is, and I don't want to be mean to Flava Flav, but like we're dealing with reality television. At some point, we got to look at the reality of the situation here. Flava
That's
Flav
play on words.
looked kind of like what would happen if you left an egg out on a blacktop in the middle of like Arizona summer for months.
Toasty.
Yeah,
I
and
clocked out and then clocked back in, and I don't know where we're at.
we're talking about Flava Flav.
Was that to describe what that show was like?
No, that was to describe Flava Flav.
Flava Flav.
The
Oh.
man.
Oh,
He looks a little rough. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's a rough looking dude, and to go along with that, like he's got a very unique personality, to say the least. And so usually, like what they ended up needing to do for a lot of the contestants on the show is reach to what I would call the bottom of the barrel. And it was all just like they purposefully would handpick like very, very like loud, boisterous, very unique, like very full of character women.
watch yourself.
I am.
Watch yourself, counselor.
And they put 25 of them in a single house.
And they said, "Who wants to marry Flava Flav?"
And they all said, "Not me."
And they said, "Did you say I give Flava Flav money?"
Yeah. Do I get attention? The love of the people? No.
No, you no, you don't get any of that. You get laughed at for a while, and then like 20 years later, 15 years later, three middle or I guess quarter age white boys are going to talk about you on a podcast for comedy reasons.
Yeah.
What's wrong with them? What's the big deal here?
Well, so let's look at like The Bachelor.
Was
as
Flavor
like
of Love the first of these?
I think it was.
First
Because
popular
yes,
one.
it
How about
was
that?
because it was popular. They got the idea of doing Flavor of Love after Flava Flav was on another VH1 reality TV show, where during that show he ended up having a romantic relationship with this other woman, who was also like a B-list celebrity type. Because that's what really like what VH1 like got a lot of these ideas is just take like B-list celebrities and put them together and watch wacky shit happen. And during the show, they ended up having a budding romance that like everybody was so weirded out and creeped out by, but oh so entertained with. That it kept people tuning in week after week after week to see like what would happen between them.
You know something absolutely nuts?
What?
A cursory Google search, I came up with the information. Flavor of Love had 3 seasons
Yes,
somehow.
it did.
Ooh,
So like they made it through one rotation of girls and he found his love, and then they went through a second rotation of girls and he found his love, and then there was a third rotation where Flavor Flav fell in love for a third time.
oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing though. Here's the thing. From VH1 standpoint, they needed that shit to happen because Flavor of Love to them was fucking genius.
Gold.
Not just because of like the viewership that it brought in, but it was because it created this perpetual entertainment machine of bringing in like these random people to compete for the love of this C to B list celebrity. And then they were so rowdy and such weird and wacky people and so quirky that they're like, okay, people like that person. Let's pull them into this other show we have. Like, I Love Money, which is a show where all these people, you basically take the idea of Big Brother, except now they're like just explicitly competing for more and more money every week.
Here's something wild.
And just see what happens.
That's the show's name. Is I Like Money?
It's I Love Money, yeah.
Yeah, they
It
could be a
had
little
2
better.
seasons, yeah.
Nick, this is for you. And we're still talking Flavor of Love for the moment, just because I have this and I want to share it.
Flavor.
In season 1, there were 11 episodes. And
Okay.
in those 11 episodes, Flava Flav fell in love with a beautiful young woman by the name of Nicole Alexander, who on the show was called Hoops with a Z. So who won season 1? Hoops.
Hoops.
Season 2 had 12 episodes where Flava Flav fell in love with a second beautiful woman by the name of Chandra Davis, who was called Delicious.
Yeah. So
Explicitly.
do you want to know the explanation for those names?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Were they given these names?
let
like
me do season 3 real quick, and then that, because this is my favorite one. Season 3 had 16 episodes in which Flava Flav found himself falling in love with a woman that he referred to as Thing 2.
Who was Thing 1?
I think it was the previous
Who was
contestant.
Thing 1?
I think it was a contestant from like season 1 or 2. It was called Thing.
Thing.
So
Yeah,
this was
'cause-
Thing 2, and
Okay.
she didn't get a last name. Her name was just Tresha.
Got
All
it.
right.
So Flava Flav gave these women
Yeah,
the
so
name.
that was like the entire. So like normally when you watch like The Bachelor or something like that,
Uh-huh.
the entire first episode is dedicated towards like documenting the first interaction between the contestant and the love interest.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it would make like a big to do of like introducing them. You give their background, their name, their age, what they do for a living, and just give like this like brief look into them and who they are as a person.
Sure.
And then they're introduced to the love interest, and then that's where the romance is supposed to kick off and the competition begins. Flavor of Love kind of did that.
During the 3rd season reunion of Flavor of Love, Flav proposed to Liv, the mother of his youngest son, Karma.
That's sweet.
Adorable.
Good
Okay.
for him. So, anyways,
The next question. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm bogarting this episode.
that's okay.
This is incredible. May I? May I read to you what people are asking if you Google Flavor of Love?
Please do.
These are the questions that people have to know via Google
Was it real?
about Flavor of Love. Number one, and I think I already answered this. Yeah, I did. Who did Flavor of Love marry? Not who did Flavor Flav. Who did Flavor of Love, because that's his name, marry, and we already said. What happened to Sweetie from Flavor of Love?
I remember Sweetie.
She's a stay-at-home mom now, so there's your answer.
Okay.
Here's the one that made me stop the show in its tracks. Who pooped on the floor in Flavor of Love?
Yeah.
Somebody pooped on the floor?
Someone pooped on the floor.
Here's
On
what
accident?
it says. Here's what it
I hope it's on accident.
here's
I think it was on purpose.
Oh
Here's-
no.
here's what it says. After the 5 girls, Hood, Bama, H-Town, Chocolate, and Safiri were eliminated, the contestants discovered that something had defecated on the floor during the elimination ceremony because she couldn't hold it in or go to the bathroom. Hood, agent sent her to be on the show.
Sometimes you gotta go when you gotta go, right?
Yeah.
So who pooped on the floor in Flavor of Love? Something.
Something.
That was her name.
Oh, that was her name. Okay,
Something.
got it.
Yeah. So kind of going back to like the whole naming thing. So like the whole thing was like, instead of having these sort of like romantic first interactions where you get a good idea of who these people are, instead what it was is they were all lined up one by one in front of Flavor instead of Flavor Flav. And instead of him actually learning their real names and who they are as a person,
Jeez.
he would give them a nickname just based off of his first impression.
Wow.
And so that's how you get nicknames like Thing 2 or Sweetie or something.
Something.
Or
Hoops.
Oops.
hoops.
Yeah. And it's just like, I love that, like, that became who these people are.
Do you know how much bullshit you would have to put me through to stand me in a line with a bunch of other women and give me the name Hoops, and then the next woman in line gets Delicious? I would kick the shit out of you. She tall. I'm gonna call her Hoops.
Hoops.
Oh, you? Oh, you? You're Delicious. And you? Thing 2. All right.
Moving on.
This sucks.
Crazy.
But yeah, and so Flavor of Love, it introduced, in particular, a woman who would become known as New York. Now, New York was probably the most like traditional reality TV contestant out of all of them. This is during the first season. Yeah. Just a really bad person who was like constantly trying and like.
Oh, she's the meme one.
Yeah. She was the one who got spit on.
She's a meme.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, so she got into a fight with this other contestant who was being eliminated. Her name was Pumpkin, and this became like a very big thing on the internet. Was immediately after Pumpkin was eliminated, in front of Flava Flav, as she was being like walked off, her and New York got into a fight, and Pumpkin just hocked a big old loogie right in New York's face, and then booked it and ran. And it was a moment of TV history, if I say so myself.
Yeah.
And from that, New York ended up gaining a lot of popularity, like the girl New York. And this started a trend for VH1, which I kind of alluded to earlier, which was bringing on, instead of having like B-list celebrities, because only so many B-list celebrities would actually like come on the show, like and do shows.
They really missed out on picking up Charlie Sheen for one of these.
Yeah. Well, so think of the idea. They had let's see here. They had a show called Strange Love, which is where like Flava Flav and Brigitte Nielsen was her name. That's where they had their little thing, their little romp.
She's a supermodel, right?
I think so.
Or am I thinking of someone else?
I don't remember.
Am I thinking of Giselle? Tom Brady's wife?
Can we talk about Rock of Love?
Yeah, we could talk about Rock of Love.
Can we talk about The Rock?
No,
The Rock of Love.
Rock of Love was Bret Michaels.
Yep, frontman of Poison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of like, and maybe this is like me being like a bad like child to my dad, who is like a very big like classic rock fan.
Okay.
The only song that I know of Poison's is "Every Rose Has Its Thorn."
Yeah.
And
every rose has its thorn.
Yeah,
I brought
that's
up
the
Rock.
one.
I brought up Rock of Love, Nick, because I knew that you would have a connection to at least Poison.
A little bit, I guess. Their stuff's okay.
What the hell? Rock of Love had 3 seasons too.
Yeah, they all did.
What?
The reason why is because they started turning the contestants into the actual like love interest for their other shows. So in order to keep new shows coming, they had to have more contestants.
So Bret Michaels just kept falling out of love? Love.
He's a rock star. It's happened before. How do you think they write so many songs about like, oh, heartbreak and oh.
At least these girls got to keep their actual names. Like, God damn.
He respects women a little more than Flavor Flav.
You know, who did Bret Michaels end up marrying?
Ooh, I don't know.
Charlie Sheen.
I think he's a bachelor.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Bret Michaels is that he is a very big Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Oh,
that's the only thing I know about him, and the fact that he was in Poison. That's it. Well, and I know of like through Rock of Love, like 5 of the women that he has made out with on public television.
While filming the finale of his reality show, Bret Michaels' Life as I Know It, Michaels proposed to Christy Lynn Gibson, his on-again, off-again companion of 16 years. And I will spoil it and let you guys know she did not compete on Rock of Love.
Yeah.
So,
you're telling me this was all just to make a show?
So that's strike 2, VHS. What else we got? Did you help anybody?
Did they try? I don't know.
Let's see. And then,
VH1, not VHS. I'm going to go ahead and correct myself there.
And the thing is, too, is like VH1 was ahead of its time because like they also brought in like the first like actual internet celebrity to be one of these.
Fred?
No, Fred was Cartoon Network. And I don't think I've ever seen a Fred dating show. But no, Tila Tequila.
Oh, she was an internet meme?
She was a MySpace celebrity.
That's not real.
No, it was real.
MySpace isn't real. Come on, Michael.
That was some Zoe 101 fake website.
Oh.
Yeah, it was I browsed it on my paracomputer.
What was her name?
Hi, Carly.
Tila Tequila.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So Tila Tequila was like a very interesting character of a person, and her show in particular actually like broke some ground.
It was called A Shot at Love.
Yeah, A Shot at Love.
Tequila.
Yeah.
See, that's funny.
The thing is like it broke some ground, and
that's funny, Nick. That out of Rock of Love,
Flavor of Love.
You like A Shot of Love.
Yeah,
A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila.
That's far enough away from like the premise of the show where it's kind of like a little funny, and I'm like, I sharply exhaled out of my nose. You couldn't hear it.
It's a chortle.
Yeah. It's like shot tequila. Funny.
But the thing about Tila Tequila show was that like it broke some ground for television, especially in the US, where, and I'm not going to say that this was like
son of a bitch
representation, but it at least like started the normalization process, I'll say, of having gay couples on like reality TV.
We do love that.
Because the whole thing is like Tila Tequila was bisexual. And so because of that, she had both men and women competing for her love.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I'm not going to refer to it as representation because it was absolutely like
they made it nasty, huh?
Yeah, they made it nasty.
Damn it.
Yeah. And like, because it was one of those things where it's like, we're not actually for like gay support, but we're here for like women on women support because that's not gay.
We know that the men out there love that. So.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the spinoff of A Shot at Love, which was a double shot at love?
Yeah.
With the guys from Jersey freaking Shore.
Yeah.
This just keeps getting worse and worse.
No, I don't think I've ever talked about it like on the podcast, but I've met DJ Pauly D.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I met him at a gas station. in
That sounds about right.
yeah, in what's the place, the really trashy place for spring break down in Florida?
Myrtle Beach.
Panama City?
Panama
Miami.
City. I met him at a gas station in Panama City Beach when
He's
I
not
was a
supposed to leave
freshman
New
year in
Jersey
college.
according to court orders.
He's not allowed. He
He's
was
not
DJing
allowed.
for a club down there and ran into him at a gas station. He was a big asshole, and I loved it.
Were you like, hey, you're a big asshole? And he was like, that's right, baby.
Well, no. Well, I've got a picture of it somewhere, but
Oh my god.
I guess I was the asshole because I just I saw him and I rolled my window down to my car and I wasn't even going to talk to him, and I just raised my phone up with my camera and I was like,
"Yep,
hey," and, and I just took a quick picture. Drive.
That's how you approach him. All right, drive slow.
Well, I had friends that wanted to go and meet him, but his bodyguards wouldn't let them.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, if they're gonna be dicks to my friends, I'm gonna be like an asshole to him. So
I always wonder how those
I'll have
people
you
smell.
guys know a double shot of love also didn't work out. They're also no longer together.
oh,
It's almost like these shows are somehow engineered in a way that
Hey, why haven't I heard of this show? This sucks. I want to know more about this show that first aired on November 15th of 2004, and the cast included someone named Deborah Bradley, Jason Maves, Alexandra Emberton, Blake Leeser, Nicole Willard, and more. And the name of the show was, of course, as you would know from its 3-season run, Date My Mom!
wow.
The show that everyone's been asking for, Date My Mom.
Why won't anyone date my mom?
Because we're shitty kids like you.
Let's. Well, actually, no. I think I remember this show. It
Date
was.
My Mom?
I did watch it. The whole premise was that you would have a contestant who they would the families themselves. There'd be 3 families and then the actual love interest.
Okay.
The whole deal was that instead of the love interest actually getting to know the actual contestant, they got to know them through their mom. So it wasn't so what it was is
they had to go on a date with the girl's mom.
Yeah, with the girl's mom, and the mom would have to the end of it would always be hey, I talked you up, go okay, so sorry. I'm not even Googling this. I'm just remembering shit now. Okay. So the whole premise was that they would find late teen, early 20s couples who lived at home, and they would always find the kid who was in a really bad relationship that the parents hated.
Ooh.
And
no. Hold on. You're getting confused because that's parental control.
Parental control. You're fucking right.
And I knew that because I watched that too. Date My Mom is a dating show where it sends singles on dates with 3 moms who try to convince them to pick their son or daughter. It's worse. They go on a date with the mom, and then the mom has to be like, please pick my daughter, please. Parental control, on the other hand, was there's a shit bag, and then they get the mom gets to pick a date and the dad gets to pick a date, and then there's the shit bag. Yes. And then they all go on dates with the daughter, and then one of them gets eliminated. It's either going to be the shit bag, the mom's date, or the dad's date. And then at the end, the daughter has to either pick to stay with the shit bag or go to continue a relationship with the parental control one.
Yeah.
I remember that too. Because it was but also the boy was always a total piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, they intentionally always they played it up to a big extent. It'd be the guy just being giving the camera middle birds, just fuck it, fuck everyone, fuck you. Fuck.
And he had big purple hair, and he was doing the V on his mouth thing, and
yeah, and then it pan over to the parents of the
and
girl.
they're
no. Yeah, they're
no.
Oh, come on, mom.
Meet the
had to make that
meet the
audio
parent
as well.
Types. Yeah. And it was just always these upper white upper class white people parents be no, my daughter needs to date the prime and proper man,
If you listen to this or if you watch this and you are on one of these shows, we want you on our show.
Please, I
We
want
want
to know what that
we want
experience
a
was like.
full
So bad.
we want a full hour of interview questions for
Yeah.
you. If you are on one of these shows, we need to talk to you.
Yeah,
about
if you never got it, we'll be happily glad to provide like a full and thorough debriefing on the situation.
We will 100%. If you did not get picked at the end, find you a girl. We promise. And
Yeah.
that is my entertain this guarantee to you. And my word is my bond, and my bond is weak. So reach out
Have
to
you
us.
seen our stats? 'Cause
Our
I got news
stats
for
are
you.
actually turning around, baby.
Yeah, we're on our way up to the moon.
We're on our it's entertainment's to the moon.
Yeah.
I was just saying, it seems to be there's a bit more men that listen to our podcast. As opposed to
Great.
women.
They're the ones who didn't get picked.
Oh, it's the men. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, we'll find
care.
you a date.
It could be.
We'll find a date. We got you.
If you've ever been on a reality TV show at all, come on our show.
Hit us up. We don't care
Yeah.
what it was. Were you on Big Brother? Were you on The Circle? Were you on
Were you on Sexy Beasts?
Were you on Sexy Beasts, baby?
Are you a
Okay.
big brother?
we're over the hour mark, but I want to talk about Sexy Beasts. Can we do that and then be done?
Let's finish. Let's end it on Sexy Beast.
What is
well,
Sexy Beast?
it's
Well,
a new-
we'll
it's a new
tangentially refer to like
reality.
some other Netflix dating shows,
Like The Circle and Love
So
is
Love
Blind.
is Blind. So Netflix has been kind of infatuated with this idea.
They're trying to be the new VH1.
They are, and like the thing is they're not doing a great job at it, but they're approaching like they're approaching. The Circle's fine, but like every single one of the shows is predicated on like the same basis, is that like physical looks influence who you're gonna pick a
Yeah.
lot, and so because like the whole thing is like you're on these shows for such a short amount of time, like you're not gonna actually get to know people, so you got to go with like whoever you got the most like physical attraction for.
Which is hilarious because in Love is Blind, they're like, we know you're not going to be here very long, but just know you are going to marry whoever you leave here with legally, and you're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah. hosted by the Cincinnati great Nick Lachey.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Jerry Springer.
So
If
we'll,
only.
we'll start with Love is Blind, because like Love is Blind is basically this whole
It's a
idea.
super simple premise.
Yeah. You basically they go Netflix will go to like a specific city and will pick a bunch of like singles from the area, and they'll separate the men and the women into like separate living quarters, and they will never be able to like meet or anything,
Mhm.
except for when they go into the soundproof pods, where the only thing that is separating you between the other, like a man and a woman on the show, is a completely opaque barrier that you can talk through, that you can like very easily talk through. And the whole basis of the show is that like if love truly is blind, then you will be able to get to know people without ever knowing what they are and like what they look like, and you'll fall in love. And if you fall in love and you pick someone, you're getting engaged to them. And when you get engaged to them, that's when you can finally meet and see what the other person looks like.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit because everybody who goes on that show's hot as hell. So it doesn't matter.
Oh
Yeah, it's
But-
one of those things where like if you look at the other people like that are living with you, like in the just the men's section, and you've got like
You're like, oh, we got a crop.
yeah. Like you're looking around like, okay, every dude here's hot. Like, okay. And it's
You're
great.
hoping that you're not the last place prize.
Yeah.
Is what's going on.
Well, but that's the thing. You're at an advantage in Love is Blind, baby.
That's right. I know.
but-
I just want him to meet you, and then you're like, oh.
that has happened. That happened like multiple times in the show where people would meet and they just be like, hi.
Internal screaming.
Yeah. And so Netflix is really like kind of stuck on this like whole principle of like trying to get people together without them actually knowing what the other person looks like. And Love is Blind honestly like did very well like ratings wise. So they took that exact same concept, and instead of doing the sensible thing and keeping people separated, they removed looks from the equation.
And they added in prosthetics.
So you would get like a woman who is like painted red head to toe, wearing like devil like face like prosthetics covering everything, so you can't see what she looks like at all.
She looks like an ugly
Cowboy?
beast.
or you'd stuff a man inside of a toucan
Gecko suit.
costume,
Oh,
or a
even
gecko
better.
suit, or like a almost like animatronic dog costume, and you would put them together, and they would go on dates. The whole idea is that the love interest, so the one like lady or man, would have 6 minutes to meet 3 other people of their preferred sex. And in that, after 6 minutes is up, and after they have met all 3 of the guys, all of them wearing their own very unique and extremely uncomfortably high quality costumes, they would have to eliminate one of them. And then like after that, they would go on dates in public places, wearing these full prosthetic costumes
In fursuits, is that correct?
in basically like the most expensive fursuits you've ever seen.
The plot twist is they're all furries and they don't even take off the suit. I'm sorry.
And
Here's what I'll say.
It's one of the most like, this show gives you more secondhand embarrassment than I've gotten from any other show in my life.
Here's what I'll say about ugly beasts.
Sexy beasts.
Sexy beasts. So
Same,
sorry.
really.
So sorry, Michael, that I got that wrong. I guess they are sexy, huh, Mike? Huh? They can't hear the look you're giving me.
They can hear the silence though.
Here's the thing I'll say about
Silence is
sexy beasts. It had the greatest reality TV show moment I've ever witnessed in it.
Oh, what was it?
So the idea is there are 2 contestants, and they're both dressed up in these prosthetic costumes or whatever. And then there's usually female, from what I've experienced at least, who has to pick between the 2 guys. And usually, this has at least been my experience with these reality shows, the girls sometimes are just completely unbearable, but the guys will still fall madly in love with them.
Oh, I know exactly what moment you're talking about.
Because ultimately competition will lead them to want to win, and so they'll like grin and bear the terrible woman.
Well,
however,
you also get paid the longer you're on the show.
Yes. Is it? There might be 3, because I think there are 2 rounds of elimination. So
Yeah,
there might be 3 guys.
There's 3 guys.
So she's talking about who she's going to eliminate after their first round of dates. So there's going to be 2 guys left after this.
Yeah, and she's dressed up in a full like panda costume.
She's a panda.
Yeah,
and she's unbearable to listen to. And she's like, "I'm sorry, I'm gonna pick you." And the guy gets up and he's like cheering. He's like, "Yes, yeah, let's go!" And he's like shaking people's hands. He's like giving his other competitors hugs. Everybody's confused, and like the announcer's like, "I think he thinks he just won." And he was like, "Nah, I didn't want to. No, I didn't like her at all." He said, "I was not into her at all. I am so glad she picked me."
And keep in mind, this entire time he's dressed up in a full Tin Man, prosthetic costume.
He's like, "I did not want her to pick me." And then he gets to so after he gets eliminated, he gets to take off all his stuff and like come out and be like, "Here's what you're missing." And he's like this handsome dude. But she's like, "Oh, man, that's what you look like." And he's like, "Yup, bye."
He pieces out right then and there.
So fast to get out of there, man. I'm like, this is reality TV. This is what reality is like when you put people in these situations.
Yeah, I loved it.
He's just being real, right?
That's just being real.
Yeah. Well,
if this were VH1, he would get his own show.
That one real moment made me want to watch the rest of Sexy Beasts.
Me too. That was their one moment that got everybody watching it, and then nobody wanted to watch it after that.
Yeah, because like everyone after that was just like everyone was like, oh, sad and disappointed, and like
he was like, "Let's go!"
Well, yeah, and it was like, and usually like the thing that at the very end of this is a great bow tie to wrap this whole reality TV present in.
Wrap it.
Reality TV, as much as we want to not admit it, completely caters towards our want for just consuming secondhand drama and just absurdity. And it's so delicious. And that's why you see people tuning in week after week to watch the newest episode of The Bachelor, the newest episode of Survivor, 30 seasons in or whatever, and still coming back for more.
Maybe we need to start writing drama into our scripts.
Anyways, I hate Alex.
Yeah.
Fucking
idea. Why do Alex? What even made you think of that? Like,
Come on, man.
Hey Nick, do you have a quick this week?
That's how we're gonna end it. I really don't like how Alex throws the ball to me like that all suddenly. Like, what is he even thinking?
I think Nick is a little bit of a sexy little baby poo poo pants. I think he just needs to grow up and face reality.
I just love them both so much, and I think they're so talented in everything they do. I just, I hope the best for them, and really, whoever wins this, no hard feelings. I hope we can all go get drinks together.
That might be our greatest moment of ever doing this show.
There you go. There's reality.
That off the fucking cuff.
We peaked. Hey, what's our quick this week about?
It's about reality TV and how we're gonna write our own episode of.
Oh, you didn't do a quick this week?
I'm just kidding. I got one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Hey, I got one. Should I even do a timer? I don't even care. Let's just do it.
I got you.
Should we do a timer?
Yeah, I got
Ready. Set.
Okay.
Set.
Is he gonna say it?
Go.
Oh, okay. How many times in a year do you think you hear the interjection bullshit? Judging by our current political and economic climate, it's probably several. It's probably several within this episode.
Yeah,
Just
it
let alone
probably
by
went
itself.
way up when you guys became friends with me.
It's total bullshit, right? Maybe you've even used it to describe our podcast. Like, hey, those Entertain This boys are pretty good at bullshitting. It's entirely possible, but don't tell us if you have. It'll probably hurt our feelings. Anyways, the first documented use of the root of this word, bullshit, was in the 17th century when the word bull was used in response to something untrue. Skip forward to World War II, and you can see the expletive shit added to this compound form of the word bullshit, meaning the same thing as it did all those years ago, except with a little bit of that postmodern spicy word flavor added to it. By now, you're probably wondering what I'm here to talk about in my quick this today. You probably want me to stop bullshitting, so I'll cut to the chase and I'll tell you this one is all about Penn and Teller's bullshit.
Oh, good show.
Such a good show.
It's and a reality TV show.
Yeah.
Well, debatable. I'm not gonna.
No. I'm thinking of Fool Us.
Fool Us. Yeah, that's a good
Also
show.
a very
too.
good show.
Mhm.
Penn and Teller's bullshit. Also a very good show. But you might know the magician duo Penn and Teller from their Vegas shows, or the recent television program Penn and Teller Fool Us.
Mhm.
But back in the early 2000s, they had a show on television called, predictably, Bullshit. And as you know as well as I do, the name of the show could only be uttered on the cable channel known as Showtime.
Yep.
Penn Jillette stated that the name was chosen because you could be sued for calling somebody a liar, but not if you say they were talking bullshit. So that's what leads us to what the show is all about. Yes, it's about calling out a person on their BS, but some of the topics they delve into are seemingly true to the average person. Take, for instance, their episode about Boy Scouts. Being someone who was a loyal Cub Scout as a kid, Scouts honor here. I thought, well, what's the bullshit with Boy Scouts? And oh boy, was I in for an awful treat. I found out they don't let atheists join their ranks, and it's a big no-no for any government-funded organization such as the Boy Scouts, and they've been known for covering up cases of pedophilia. So that's something I found out. But beyond that, there are so many episodes dealing with things that you knew were bullshit, but after watching, you learn they're so much worse than you even thought. And that's all right. It doesn't have to be all doom and gloom, but being Las Vegas showmen, Penn and Teller take each presentation and twist it into a topic that's funny, engaging, entertaining, and delightfully irreverent. And that's exactly what 15-year-old me wanted to see at the time, because it turns out the show is a large contributor to high school me becoming what I like to call a raging libertarian. Sometimes their objective wasn't to completely dismiss the topic at hand, but to decry certain aspects of the topic that they believe to be misleading, unnecessary, or overemphasized. So let's take the topic of the war on drugs, for example. We all agree that if nobody did drugs, it'd be great, right? But the answer isn't total prohibition or locking away millions of people from merely being in possession of drugs. The answer, what I believe, is called harm reduction. So if you choose to use a substance, you should be safe about it and not go to jail for the rest of your life for possessing a fraction of a gram or whatever you might have on you, because that's the real bullshit at play here. But anyways, sorry for getting all preachy on you. That's really not what this show is like at all. It's the exact opposite of preachy, and it's actually downright entertaining, even if you may not agree with everything that they have to say or the way they frame people, because the way they frame people in and of itself is bullshit. But simply watch with an open mind and think what you want to think, because after all, there is an awful lot of bullshit in the world, and Penn and Teller are out there trying to expose it. After a 7-year run, the show came to an end in 2010, airing their last episode about, drumroll please, vaccinations, which seems a little prophetic now. But they claim that there's this bullshit study out there that led to all this disinformation about the MMR vaccine, measles, mumps, and rubella.
Oh, yeah.
And that it causes autism. And that ended up hurting people. It ended up causing people to get measles, mumps, and rubella, probably all at the same time. And let me tell you, those diseases are not fun to have. They're rampant.
Yeah, if you want to learn more about that, go watch "Vaccines: a Measured Response" by H. Bomber Guy.
That is a great video.
Yes. There are also a number of episodes on the podcast Sawbones, which is a medical tour of misguided medicine, that also dive into the actual like deep lore of that exact study that caused that misconception. So check that out too.
It's actually wild.
Oh yeah, no, it was like forced. It was a forced study with forced results.
With unfortunately forced participants as well.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to say it with me? That sounds like a lot of
bullshit.
Shit. Anyway, so maybe
we're a well-oiled machine.
You should go watch the show, how they explain how vaccines work and protect a population. And while you're at it, be sure that you're up to date on all your shots too. And then go check out Penn and Teller's Bullshit. It's on Netflix. Stop in for a laugh, maybe a cry, and entertain this.
Well, that's exciting that it's on Netflix, because that means I'm going to binge watch it for the next week.
Maybe it is. That. I don't know if it still is. But...
I love Penn and Teller. I think they're great. Like I said, I love Fool Us. It's an amazing show. Nick, you're so brave and so bold when taking on topics, because somehow you made a show written by magicians about the drug crisis and then about vaccines. And that's so much.
That's bullshit.
If you like our bullshit, how about you help us out a little bit? If there's something that we haven't covered that you want to hear us cover, well, there's an easy way that you can reach out and let us know what that is. You can go to our website. It's www.entertainthis.net. Scroll all the way to the bottom. There's a little questionnaire there that you can fill out. Let us know if there's something that you want to hear us talk about on our show, entertainment-based preferably. But there are a couple other ways you can reach out. You can reach out to us via Twitter. We are entertain_this on Instagram. We are entertain this podcast. You can find us on Facebook. We're podcast entertain this. And as always, entertain us so we can entertain you, and you can entertain this. Entertain this bullshit. See you next week.
Got him.
Bye. Bye.
This episode of Entertain This was written by Michael Savoya, with additional commentary from Nick Mustakangas and Alex Teal. Our showrunner and resident fact-checker is Chloe Price. Our theme music is Rushmobile by Aaron Spencer, with interstitial music by DJW. Tune in every Friday for new episodes, and thanks for listening.